15 kilometers. 50-kilometer run. No one is competing with us. And my controller is disabled.
Welcome back to Code Racing League for Abu Dhabi, the round 12. And I am joined here today by Steven.
Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for having me again, Jamie. Glad to be back for Tier 1 stream.
Nice to have you with me for the first time. And last week it was an Australian Grand Prix where Steven commentated. And how was the Grand Prix, mate? Was it a good one?
It was a it was a decent race for many drivers, and we had Jeroen with a lovely overtake, but unfortunately I got too many penalties, which saw Nathan take the win on track, or not on track, just in general after penalties. But it was a very exciting Grand Prix with about 3 or 4 safety cars it was. So yeah, very interesting race, and it was certainly one that you wouldn't want to have missed.
Yeah, sounds like it. I seen a lot of DNFs as well when I clicked on board the stream, and not surprising that the safety cars have turned up at the Australian Grand Prix. It's such a difficult track to get right, and we move to the Yasby Arena circuit here in Abu Dhabi, first introduced back in 2009, and it's been many of the last races of the season, with Brazil as well included in that one, as Brazil and Abu Dhabi tend to switch. Which was going to be the last race, and last year it was obviously the last race of the season, where we all know what happened between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. And I think it was a decent race last season. We came to Abu Dhabi, and hopefully we'll have another good one. Maybe it's not a really good track for overtaking in terms of the actual F1, but in terms of league races, you can get many overtakes going back and forth, especially down into turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, and turn 9, that long left-hander now, instead of the little chicane we used to have. And I know that was very difficult as well, especially on the curves, as it tends to throw people off the track. But that's been completely removed now and resurfaced, and I think it's better for all of us, and it's better for racing as well. So let's see if we get more overtaking happening there. And a lot of history this race has. We've got Sebastian Vettel, who won his first championship back in 2010, and that was a special one as well for him. And yeah, 2014, Lewis Hamilton won his second championship when Nico Rosberg had his mechanical problems, and ended up finishing down in 14th. Then 2 years later, Nico came back to win the championship for 2016, and yeah, what a special year that was for him, judging by memory. And last year we had, I think 2 years ago, 2020, when Lewis Hamilton was recovering from COVID, finished third behind Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. And yeah, we'll see what happens here tonight then at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That's all I remember really at Abu Dhabi. I don't remember much there.
I mean, you definitely got most of the facts correct. It seemed like I'm pretty sure you only forgot the track got added in 2009, and the first one was Sebastian Vettel. While apart from that, you were pretty spot on with every statistic. So yeah, well done, Jamie. You know your facts, you know your stuff. But of course, like you said, also overtaking is going to be very different compared to real life. Of course, a couple of changes were made to the circuit. The circuit is just a lot more faster in terms of yeah, small acceleration, and generally it's more challenging for the drivers. The main change that got made was the old turn 3 and turn 3 is now gone, and it's now just pretty much a straight. We saw of course on real life last year, and the main corners are not like 90-degree corners, but it's more of a you can more attack the apex now within the Abu Dhabi circuit, which I think is a good change they made, honestly, to the track, which we will certainly see Trey back again in this session.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one as well. Let's not forget that Kimi Räikkönen went back in 2012 as well, his first win since Belgium 2009. I think that was it.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, as well.
Yeah, and then his penultimate win was 2013 at the Australian Grand Prix. Then obviously his last win was at the United States Grand Prix circuits of Americas when he held up Hamilton and Vettel sustained a 5-place grid penalty due to yellow flags or something like that. I can't actually remember, but anyways, back to the Abu Dhabi action. We've got some cars. This is one of the first tracks that's got a tunnel for a pit lane exit, if I'm correct. Yeah, it is, and it feeds out onto the circuit nicely.
You don't see that many often in Formula 1 games where you, or in real life in general, where you go under the circuit and then go accelerate next to the track, or come back on the track, of course. So it's a very interesting pit lane where many drivers seem to make mistakes still, where if you just slightly brake yourself, you can hit the wall on the exit, or if you go downhill. So it's a difficult one to get right, and all the drivers have to be careful here. And there's also where you can review benefits from. You can, if you really attack it well, you can easily gain 4 or 5 tenths. With this crit currently, can make all the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And in the actual F1 race, I've actually never seen anybody crash in the pit lane or the exit the pit lane at all. I expect, being such a tight exit as well, I expected some a few F1 drivers in the past to have a bit of collision there, but it turns out they've all made it through unscathed, and I'm not quite sure about league races. I think I've had an instant myself down the pit lane one time, and Walter then is about to cross the line to start his first flying lap in the Ferrari then, a championship leader, coming down to turn 1 then, hitting the apex for turn 1 there, getting on the throttle very nicely there, going through flat out through turn number 2 and turn number 3 there. You can see that the car very stable as well, not the back end stepping out, using all the track you can possibly get away with down here at turn number 5, brake at the 50-meter ball, bring the car in, hit the apex, get back on the throttle, shake the car up, use the throttle to rotate the car. DRS enabled then for this first DRS zone, no DRS on the main straight, there's only 2 DRS zones, and we're coming up to a very heavy braking zone, very critical to scrub off all the speed here. It's very easy to outbrake yourself and lock up through here, going down into this next corner here, coming through the right hand there, very important to get this one right because it will set yourself up nicely to get a good exit to overtake your rival. Second chance for DRS, or if you don't get it done the first time, you might get it done the second time unless they do a switchback on you if you overtake with the first part. Going down into turn number 9 then, breaking the 50-meter board, swing the car in, use the throttle to rotate the car yet again. Don't get too greedy there because it's very easy to spin the car up and lose traction. Going down into this tricky section, then this is where the tyres will work its best. It's very easy to light up the rear of the car here with the demand of the throttle there. Going through this left-hander, double left-hander using the 5th gear. Very nice through there. There's no signs of the car stepping out whatsoever with this low grip surface as we are early doors in qualifying. Going through the final corner then in 4th gear, and his first lap time is going to be a 23.0. I think that's a decent lap time, it must be said. No mistakes there from Walter at all. The car just... well, smooth sailing on that lap, it must be said. It's absolutely stable.
Totally agree there. And you put in a really good middle sector as well. I think he did a 53 flat, which if I'm on board, I'm on board with Evans right now, who's about 2 tenths off about this time it seems. He's actually invalidated now, right, slightly running wide there in the final sector. It may, like you said earlier on Wouter's lap, the tires might have passed their best and might be overheating a bit, so he ran wide slightly there.
Nevertheless, it was a stunning lap. The car was just looked like it was on rails, just able to take the speed through the corners without the back end just stepping out at him, not locking up as well, not losing traction, not understeering. It's just incredible how much confidence he has in that Ferrari. And his teammate AJ is 6 tenths further back in his Ferrari as well. So it's a Ferrari 1-2 with Bompia in P3 with Reservoir P4, Liam in P5. He's on the that's not correct, is it? Medium compound tyres? Wait, is this a new patch? Because I'm not quite sure. It must be a new patch, surely, because I don't remember having medium compound. It is.
Yes, so in the new patch, of course, they got new car models. As you can see, the Ferrari looks very different compared to last week. And they also added the option back from, you can select now a harder set and a softer set. So you can select full soft set, 1 medium set and 3 soft set, and even a hard set. Which is against the regulations, of course, in real life F1, since you can change, you can set whatever tire, you can select whatever tire you want in the race now, but in qualifying you can just use all the soft tires you want, but in the game they added another set of mediums, which could play a difference in the race, as most drivers could have 2 medium sets right now, which could be a massive difference.
Well, I did not know that also. That tells you how much I pay attention to the game, so I need to look into this. I really do.
Well, you've got your facts on real life F1. I've got my facts on the F1 game, so that makes it perfect for both of us.
I think AlphaTauri's just spun in where Latifi spun. Is that Steban? No, that's Steiny. Sorry.
Wow. Hey. I'm getting violated whilst commentating. This is lovely. No, it's Tiny who unfortunately spun in the AlphaTauri. Not me. He's done a Latifi apparently. So, but he's gone back into the pits now after he's done a 30.6, which is not an accurate time at all. But I'm certain he will bounce back for his second run here, as 16 people have done their laps. As Evans, Isatkus, Renee's Knight haven't done their laps. As actually someone has just done a lap. I'm pretty sure that was Pyro. No, it was not Pyro.
Marty.
Doesn't really matter. Marty's done a lap. He's gone in P3 right now. 24 thousandths of AJ's time in P2, so it's a Ferrari 1-2 with a McLaren 3-4 right now. So hopefully Martin can keep this performance up, and if McLaren are watching the stream, then they must be pretty happy with their drivers in P3 and P4. They must be dreaming about that, as in real life they're not that competitive compared to the game, of course.
Well, Isaac Kush, I was just on board with on his lap time, and unfortunately he has invalidated it. It looks like he was going to be on course for a decent lap time for him in his first attempt, but unfortunately that lap time has gone away. And he's spun to the penultimate corner as well, but saves the car beautifully, and he'll dive back into the pit lane then. So, well, unfortunate there for Isaac Kush. Plenty of time, 10 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in qualified to put something on the board for him. And 20th place is Relentless Knight. I think he's on a lap time somewhere in that Mercedes, if I can go on board with him if he lets me. There we are, Knight then coming around turn number 14, that is, now turn 15, and coming through the last corner in turn 16. No, he dives into the pit lane. So dissatisfied with that lap time then is Relentless Knight. Something must have happened on that lap time, whether he made a mistake or not, I'm not quite sure. But he's in the pit lane then, and he'll have to put on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres then. So tyre strategy is going to be available, so going to be interesting. But Stevan, so you know more about the game than me now. So these medium compound tyres, so you have one set in the quali and another set in the race, is that correct?
If you can select that option, yes, you do.
So you have...
You can select 4 soft sets.
Yes.
3 soft set and 1 medium in qualifying, or 1 hard and 3 softs.
That's very interesting. That's thank you for that information. So I have to look into that one then during the races coming up, because that selection now is back. I wonder where that went, the harder and balanced strategy. I always wondered what happened to it, but thankfully it's back in, and we can have multiple different strategies going on here, and a few of them set their best lap times, getting those mediums out of the way before they use their soft runs, just getting the exploratory banker lap times in before they go on the actual soft compound tyres and set their absolute best laps. And we've got C coming down into the heavy braking zone now of turn number 6, going into turn number 7. Critical to get a good exit there, and no wheel spin for him. Say that again.
Starting his lap right now in the Ferrari, just passing turn 2 and now into turn 3.
We'll keep an eye on his performance then in the Ferrari. I can see him on the map. He's going down into turn 5 with the McLaren. Bob Pierre might be behind him. I know Marty's on the out lap. He's just came out the pit lane, has the McLaren driver. So keep an eye on those two, Bob Pierre and AJ. But firstly, Joshua's retired in the pit lane. He hasn't got a lap time on the board, so I'm assuming that's a quali ban because he did retire in the pit lane. But we'll find out. But see, crosses the line now, and it's good enough for P9, so he is in the top 10 as Pyro puts his Alpine into P2 then with a 23.2, and yeah, brings that gap even down, even further down now by 2/10, under a tenth or something like that. But AJ now in the middle sector, he's got a 10th up in the middle sector, and now can he keep that performance up, try and better his lap time, or even get even closer towards Walter, or try and take second place back as we make our way now through the double left-hander in 4th gear. Oh, he spun the car and he's hit the wall. Oh, actually got away with it. But thankfully Ghosted off because the McLaren driver was about to come through there of Bompier, and he's just avoided that. If Ghosty wasn't on, then those two would have made contact. But here comes Bompier across the line now. It's P4 for the McLaren driver with a 23.5, improves his lap time by 3/10 as Liam has wow, he is super close towards Walter's lap time there. I think the Ferrari driver is on his lap time. Yes, he is. He's 800 down in the middle sector. So Walter has lost some time in this middle sector on his second lap. He's just invalidated too, going through turn number 13. Exit at turn 13 into turn 14 then. So he'll head back in the pit lane to stick on that brand new set of soft compound tyres. Nathan in the Red Bull has gone P3. We've closed the tyres now as qualifying then with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left to go, looking really interesting. Both RPs are looking really strong. Both McLarens, Bompier and Marty, looking super strong as well. Let's see then if anybody can bring that gap down even further. Marty 7,000 down in that first sector, so can he gain the time back in the middle and third sector? He gains about a 10 to be put into P5 ahead of his teammate Bompier. So let's see how much time he's lost or gained in his middle sector. It's going to be a 53.4, so that's 2/10 down on his best time. So something must have happened there, whether he got a bad exit or not, I'm not quite sure. So the lap time is pretty much room for him. Ferg, however, in the Mercedes has gone P5 with a 23.4, just ahead of Bompier by over a 10th as well, and 2/10 further behind Nathan, or under 2/10 further behind on the Red Bull driver in P4.
It just sums up how good Wout's first lap actually was, because many drivers have of course just done their second run, and still most drivers have not been able to get close to Wout's first run, which was really impressive. And you were mentioning during his lap, of course, giving commentary on his lap. You also just said like his lap was on rails. His car looked very good during his lap, and you can clearly see with him being in P1 and having pretty much apart from Liam a 2/10 advantage to everyone really. So really impressive lap there from Wouter, who can claim the championship today. He only needs to outscore Nathan by 4 points. Of course, last week didn't go quite to plan like he wanted to from the back of the grid, but Nathan is still there in P5. But I think it's looking really good for Wouter at the moment.
And looking good for Pease as well. He's back up into P4 ahead of Nathan in the Red Bull then, as majority of the drivers are in the pit lane waiting for their final runs. But yeah, it's interesting, like you said, on Walter's first lap time, because the track's now evolving with the tyres, with the rubber being laid down on the circuit, so you expect these times to get even quicker and quicker. So that first lap pretty much tells you how good Walter's pace is. And can anybody beat that pole position lap time? Can Walter himself even beat it? If he does, he'll break into 22s if he does. But we're just waiting for the drivers then to come out on their potential final flying lap, as both Hasses then queue up in the pit lane as they both enter the pit lane at the same time. We've got Pyro and Supermug on their outlaps. Supermug currently in P11 with a 23.7. Can he push himself inside the top 10? We've got Steiny in P10 there in the AlphaTauri, just on the verge of being knocked out into the bottom 10 there, with Supermug getting closer to his time. And it's going to be interesting to see what both Alpines do. Liam and Pyro looks like they've got some decent pace on their hands tonight in the Alpine. And Pease there in P4 will be coming towards the pit lane very shortly to stick on his brand new set of soft compound tyres once he gets in the pit lane. He has got another set because he did use the mediums the first time, and obviously the next two soft ones he did, and now he's going back in to put on his brand new fresh set of soft compound tyres, ready to start his final flying lap with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go. Pyro will pretty much have the track to himself. We've got McLaren out there, that is Bompier on an outlap. We've got the Aston Martin coming out of Resify, and now Pyro then is making his way towards the final corner, about to start his potential last flying lap as we make our way down into turn number 1 then, breaking at the black box on the right hand side. Into 5th gear we go. Didn't quite hook up the apex, so it's still good exit through there. Going into turn number 2 now, and turn 3, which is pretty much flat out. Did lift off slightly through there. We did see Wild to go flat out through turn 3, so might have lost a little bit of time, but still gained a bit on his personal best in the first sector. Going round turn 5 now, you can see the bit of corrections going on there with the steering wheel of Pyro with the DRS enabled then on this long back straight, approaching speeds about 325 kilometers an hour and 200 miles an hour. going down into the heavy braking. So it looks like the 100 meter boards got wiped out there. There was braking boards last time I checked, but they're gone now, so someone must have wiped them out. But decent exit there for Pyro, no wheel spin whatsoever as he makes his way down the second back straight now with DRS going down into turn number 9. Let's see how it takes this one, braking at the 50 meter board, bringing it down to 5th gear, just holding the car in there, making sure they go too greedy in the throttle. It's very easy to spin through there. I talk about spinning, I think Mercedes has just spun on his lap. No, he's just getting out of the way for the flying lap of an Alfa Romeo of Supermug, I think. And now Pyro then is going through the double left-hander, very decent there for him. Gets on the throttle with no problems, going through the penultimate corner, which is flat out now, and going down into this final corner, into 4th gear. Get the car straightened up, get on the throttle as quick as you can, making his way towards the line. He's on pole. It's a 22.9 from Pyro, and can anybody beat that then, I wonder? Walter is still in the pit lane. I think, is that Walter's in the pit lane? Is he?
Coming out now, out of the pits right now. It should be enough time to get for his out lap to complete one more run, but Wouter exactly knows what to do now, with Pyro saying that amazing lap there at the end, but still most of the drivers saying the lap now. It's actually Wouter spun. Wouter actually spun his out lap.
Has he?
Very interesting. Yes, he did. Half spun in turn 4. Turn 4 now. Half spun the car, which means he's now behind Nathan. I'm pretty sure, oh no, the other Red Bull of D-Griff. But not about the hard lap right now for Wouter, who did a very good first run, but seems to be more under pressure now on the second and his last run right now.
Ferg's just crossed the line. Bompier has backed out, so he must have made a mistake on his last flying lap. Going for another run on the same set of the soft compound tyres. He crossed the line now to start a second flying lap on those same soft. We've got a Haas coming towards the line. That is that total P's and P4? No, that's his teammate of Isak Kush. Isak Kush hasn't set a lap time just yet, so he desperately needs to get a lap time on the board. At least P19, because Joshua has probably got a qualifying ban, so he will not set a lap time at all. But Pease is making his way towards the final corner to come across the line now, and it's going to be his, I think now, final flying lap right now, going down into turn 1. So Pyro's retired. He's just awaiting to see if anybody can snatch pole position away. Walter crossed the line now to start his final flying lap then in the Ferrari. It's all tense now with qualifying coming towards a close. What's Liam doing in P3? He's coming towards the penultimate corner. Has he improved on this lap time? Can he get anywhere? No, he's he's not even on a lap. So he's coming around the final corner with 8 seconds left to go on the board to start his final flying lap then. So let's see who's out there close towards the line.
P7. Stein is up, improves to P7 with a 23.4. Bompy invalidated his final run in turn 1 on the exit there, so won't get higher than P9. Sieb is gone also for a 23.5, now in P10. AJ is now in P7 with a 23.4. As Fergus beaten Nathan so far, but Nathan is on a run and improving by a 10th, coming to the final sector now. Seems to be clean and tidy so far here, hitting the apex there, coming towards the line right now, and it will be P3 for Nathan with a 23.081, beating Nathan and just behind Wouter here.
And Bobby heads back in the pit lane. Good effort from Nathan, but it's all eyes on Walter now in P2 to see if he can take pole position away. He's 900s up in this middle sector. Can he snatch that pole position? Needs a decent final sector now as he makes his way towards that final corner now. And he will come across the line to take pole position away by a 10th. Good job from that Walter. It's a 22.8, 2/10 improvement from his best lap times. Only 2/10 despite the track evolution. So that first lap was absolutely mighty, it must be said. So Walter on pole ahead of Pyro, Nathan in P3, Liam in P4. I think he's on a lap, Liam. No, he's 1/10 down, but can he find any more time in this last sector? I don't think he can. He made a mistake without the final corner, and he hits the wall for good measure as well. I did see Mercedes who spun across the line a few moments ago when Nathan was crossing the line, but yeah, good qualifying that was, and Walter is your man on pole ahead of Pyro.
Yeah, indeed, very exciting session right there, and not really many surprises. Isak Kush still in P5 there. We kind of missed that during the session here. He was of course last for pretty much the entire session, but managed to get it together to qualify in P5 just ahead of his teammate by about a 10th of a second here. That's a good position for us to be in P5 and P6, so they're certainly trying to move forward with Pyro and Liam maybe not as competitive in the race, so they're certainly looking forward to move some positions ahead. I think a decent qualifying for Steiny as well in P9. Managed to get it together on that final run there. And yeah, very decent session right there. But of course, Wouter and Pyro really showing how quick they really are over one lap, being the only drivers within the 22s here. But Nathan is also right behind there, and then Liam also following in the Alpine. I'm really looking forward to this race here. I'm not. How about you, Jamie?
Yeah, me too, mate. Could be an interesting battle between the top three as it always been. Nathan, Pyro, and Walter. Let's see what Issa Kush and Pease could do. Issa Kush getting his first win this season at the French Grand Prix, and obviously Nathan the following Grand Prix later at the Australian Grand Prix got his win too. But Walter, like you said, just needs to outscore Nathan by 4 points. Doesn't really need to take any risks tonight, but he will do because he obviously wants to win the race as all the drivers do. So yeah, Walter can claim the championship, and Nathan, I think he's just realistically looking for a race win. I don't think he cares about the championship anymore. I think he just wants to focus on winning the races. I'm going to turn the volume up so I can hear you better. I did have the non-party audio up.
Abu Dhabi for the race here. I can remember one race we did. I'm pretty sure Peace was also racing that race in VSRL, that league was called, where it was raining in Abu Dhabi. Quite a different scene, but for the game it seems to be fine here as it's fully track conditions as the drivers pull away now for the formation round.
And Steve, can you turn your mic up, mate? I think the audience has difficulty hearing you, so can you turn your mic up, please? Oh, Pyro just had a moment coming out of turn number 3 there. The back of the car just sliding off the track, and we'll have a look at the tyre situation then. So Ferg, the highest medium runner in P7, was standing at Bonpierre, Supermug, Leo, Reservoir, Tigriff, and Knight, all on the medium compound tyres. When I talked about the braking boards being destroyed, Joshua said the same thing in the chat, so I wonder if anybody's been out there just demolishing the braking boards. I hope they don't do it in the race, because that's really important for the drivers who run no race in line to get the braking boards absolutely spot on. It's frustrating when people take out the braking boards, so whoever's done it or doing it, please don't.
I'm pretty sure you can get a ban or a race ban for for taking out the racing signs, so or the braking markers. So the drivers have to be aware of that, to not take out the braking markers, otherwise they could get a punishment for it.
Yeah, it's not nice, especially when you're trying your best out there and you've got no reference whatsoever because you don't know what the distance is between the corner, and yeah, that's why it's so important for the braking boards to remain there. And yeah, maybe an accident, but all of them were gone, and I don't think that was no accident. I think somebody just plain drove off the track and just destroyed them. So please be considerate for all the people out there. I know that they're competitives, but at the same time, you just don't want to ruin their races either by destroying the boards. We've got a Haas who spun in the background. That is who was that? Was that Pease? Yeah, it was.
Peace maybe a bit too peaceful there on the race, as Issa Kushang a really interesting strategy, as Peace is going backwards now to try to get the right position going after spinning out there. So both Haas is really taking a different approach here for lining up for the grid.
Now one of them's got to disqualify for 2. It looks like the other one's almost out of position as well, facing other way instead of the left hand side. But the race is about to begin then for the 29 lap race around here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Yas Marina circuit, and the lights are out. Off we go for round 12. The Haas looks like it got a pretty decent start actually, as we make our way down into turn 1 as P's. As you can see the Alpine of Leo go down the inside of Nathan. Nathan stays around the outside, but Leo cuts through and he gets himself up into P3 ahead of Nathan then, as Walter remains in the lead with P's in P5. They're all over the back of Nathan with his Haas teammate of Issa Kush following. We've got yellow flags in the background. Looks like Joshua has gone for an early spin, unfortunately, followed by another Williams. It looks like
both Williams has crashed out here. And I'm pretty sure one of them lost their front wing, so one of them all was out there for both Williams cars.
It looks like Marty's been pinched on the curb there. He's down into P15 after a good top 10 start for him, unfortunately for him. So he's lost a few positions. As you can see the background there, we've got Mercedes going down the inside of a Haas. 3 wide because we're McLaren, AlphaTauri and the Ferrari. It looks like one of them's going to have to back out, otherwise there could be a major contact between those guys. You can see Steiny and Bompier fighting with the Alfa Romeo Superbug right behind. These guys are all IRT as well, with AJ in P11 being IRT, Sieben to Griff being IRT as well. Ferg has just overtaken Ferg has just overtaken Pease, and he's gone up into P5 with Steve then overtaking AJ as they continue their battle then towards turn number 9. And the McLaren spun in the background. That is Marty, who's gone for a spin, and after a good qualifying session for him, has unfortunately ended it all there, down into P19 with Knight overtaking Jet for P15 there. He goes side by side, but Knight settles that one and he moves into P5. Super, I think he's gone for a spin, and he has done where Latifi spun last year, and AJ's just overtaken C-Raw Gamer up into P10. He goes then. So what an eventful first lap that was, with a few drivers there getting caught out with the conditions, and unfortunately both Williams spun as well. Reservoir is in the pit lane. Marty, will he follow through the pit lane? No, he won't. I don't think he's got any damage, but he did spin. But however, Walter remains in the lead, untroubled, but got company with Pyro and both Alpines following right behind them. So it's important for those Alpines to stay with the DRS. Make sure he doesn't extend that gap so they can stay with him. And Bompier and Pease are going for a scrap then. Looks like Pease has made a mistake. He's dropped into P7 with Bompier now using the ERS to try and out-drag Pease, but Pease is in the slipstream of the Haas there as we make our way down into turn number 6. They're going side by side. Which one of them's going to head out on top? Pease down the inside, but the AlphaTauri is Steiny looking interested as well, and they continue their battle going side by side. You can see him get on the curb and he spun. And you don't want to do that, get on the curb and spin. You can be really careful with traction through there because it's so easy to spin. And when you get pinched on the curb like that, you're going to be really careful to throttle. And unfortunately there, has suffered the consequences. And the curbs there not really paying dividends for Sani. But we've got our spinner, and that was Isaac Kush. I just saw in the background somebody spinning, and that was unfortunately Isaac Kush there. And he's dropped himself all the way down at the back of the field. And he was in the top 5, unfortunately for him. He's gone for a spin, and it's super easy to just drop it there. And yeah, he's rejoined down in P17, then releasing Ferg, who's up into P5 on those medium compound tyres. Ferg has made some ground at the start then, making use of those soft compound tyres. Can he get himself further up the grid? DRS then is enabled. Might find it a little bit difficult now with the DRS train, and Walter's being followed by the 2 Alpines who continue to put pressure on him.
Very true indeed, but like you said early on in the stream, there's of course new service here on the F1 game, so grip might be very low, and like in Australia, the grip is just very low, so all the drivers have to be aware of their traction, how much throttle they put on, and when they turn in, because if he does turn in too much or go on the throttle slightly too early, you can just spin out, and you see 3 drivers picking up some damage early on, and Supermacht and Isaac Kush now spinning as well, so that just sums up. The grip is just very low, so if you're a consistent driver, you can just gain many positions of it.
And you can see Nathan there under big pressure, but he's just sending that pressure, keeping Ferg right behind him. Ferg utilising those soft compound tyres to good effect, as we know he needs to make his way through the field and try and get past these hard runners. But as you can see, getting held up there by Nathan, who's defended beautifully, and Ferg has just drained his ERS then. He's going to be under pressure. He's just made a mistake. He went deep just a little bit in that corner there, and now he's got the Haas of Pease right behind him then, so Ferg just needs to keep it nice and clean and try and find another way past Nathan, but unfortunately he's drained all that ERS and might find himself under pressure now from Pease. That good start he had with the medium compound tyres, using them to good effect, and now he's under pressure from Pease right behind in P6. And Pease, after I won't say a dismal start, but he did get dropped behind Bompier and AJ, but made his way back. Oh, did you see that one?
Oh,
he almost dropped it.
Moment there. So we were just talking about a low grip there around this circuit, and Pease nearly dropped his car. He did a Leclerc pretty much, apart from running wide there on the exit. Managed to keep it together, but is still in the DRS of Bompier ahead. Same for Ferg, who's in the slipstream of Nathan. So all these guys are just slipstream each other away from AJ, who's in P8, breaking that slipstreaming group here. Especially Bompier is nearly falling a second away now from Ferg here, but very good save there from Pease, who's still in contention, but interestingly drained all of his ERS already to try to stick with Bompier here. As you can see, most of the top guys have 50 to 60% ERS, but from Ferg and Bumpy onwards, they all have 5% ERS, which is far from ideal, which top guys will use to full effect. As Ferg is actually run right now, we see on stream here, as Bumpy is really following right now here, so many drivers making a lot of silly mistakes here for the moment.
Yeah, second lap in a row, Fergus outbroke himself in that corner then, so unable to slow the car down, and he's under pressure then once again, this time from the McLaren of Bompier, who made a position from Pease's misfortune, but Pease looks like he settled in again, and he's right behind the two to take back P5, P6 away from Bompier. But I did notice on the previous lap, going out of turn number 9, two drivers went slightly wide. I say two drivers. I think one driver went slightly wide. That was Pyro. Might have gained himself a warning. Mortimer's time in the pit lane, so no safety car there. Would have benefited Pisa Bobpierre, who on the medium compound tyres, and Nathan, who went significantly wide. But I'm not quite sure if he picked himself up. Himself a warning. If he did, then he's got one more warning left till a penalty. But that mistake from Nathan put Ferg all over the back of him. But Ferg himself made that mistake in that next corner there, which has dropped him into the clutches of Bobpierre, and he's almost outside the 1 second range of DRS. In fact, he is, and he's trying to use the ERS to claw his way back, but the driver ahead of him is Nathan. He's got DRS, so he's dropping even more time on the straight there with the lack of the slipstream there, unfortunately for him. And looks like he's going to be under pressure there for Bobpierre and Pease, and Leo and Duwa had a scrap for P11, and Leo made his way back up into P11 on those medium compound tyres then, making good use of them before they start going off the cliff. But yeah, the main eyes now is Bobpierre. Oh, big crash there, and the Haas of Pease is involved. Bobpierre spun, and Pease unfortunately collected him as we got a safety car.
Safe's got out right now. Steve is actually overtaking Pease now, but also by running wide there. As you see, Safe's got as well now. Speed is in the pits right now. Leon in the pits right now. So there we go. The different strategies are happening right now. After lap 6. I'm not sure how many laps the tires can maintain here, but you can see the strategies are now opening up here for most of the guys. So shame for Marty, we literally retired just 1 lap ago, but this is another reason why you should never give up in league racing and just should keep going, even though it might look not ideal for you, because right now drivers like Knight, Evans, Recify can all come back in the race right now.
I wanted to point out before that moment happened between Bobpierre and P is that Wouter did break the DRS. He was 1.4 seconds ahead until that safety car came out. So Wouter somehow managed to gain that time on Pyro. Pyro might have made a mistake somewhere, but looks like he can gain that time back now with the safety car helping him, closing that gap back down and bunching the field up once again in this race. And crucially for Ferg, the safety car, they haven't caught the safety car, so Ferg could have a free pit stop, well not free, but he could have a cheap pit stop and not lose too much time as he would normally during a safety car, because if he caught the safety car, he'll have to follow it, and if he pitted, he'll drop all the way down the field. But if the gap remains the same, he can go for a pit stop, get off those medium compound tyres if the hards can make it towards the end. And look at this then, we've got Wouter, the Ferrari is in the pit lane on the hard compound tyres then. So interesting strategy call. Ferg has got himself a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and that was entering the pit lane. Oh, that's a shame for Ferg then.
Probably for cutting the inside slightly too much here, which is indeed quite a shame for him, but he is now pitting, and I'm certain more drivers will get penalties during the race here. But you see, the half of the grid is now pitting for the hards or either mediums, but also the half of the grid is staying out here. Interestingly, you see VR Jet in Alfa Romeo has gained 12 positions right here, and T-Griff is also pitting, who's gained 7 positions right here, starting P17, but he's also decided to pit and is looking in a very good position right here as Reservoir picks up a 5-second penalty, but T-Griff is looking really good right here in the Red Bull.
I said Alpine 1-2, something we haven't seen for quite a while. Renault 1-2 with Giancarlo Fisichella and Fernando Alonso, but it's currently the Alpine who leads. Yeah, interesting strategy call there from Wouter to go on the medium compound tyres. Those surely can't make it towards the end, can they?
They will. I don't think they will make it to the end, but he's now rejoined in P8 and certainly has the pace over Jet, Will, C, and AJ. So I think he's just looking to go be on the same strategy as I reckon. All the cars pretty much ahead. All the cars ahead are on hard. So he's just looking to go for track position, try to move out the field. But this does open up the race a bit. As yeah, we'll see how the race pans out here for Wouter. He knows the championship is pretty much in his grasp now, so he's looking to maybe add some spice into the race here. But I reckon I would just play it safe and then risk it all in the races afterwards.
Yeah, that's a very interesting strategy. I don't think those mediums can make it towards the end, but if he does that, maybe hard, medium, soft towards the end, I'm not quite sure. But his hard tyres are only 6 laps old, so if he wants to go back on there, he can if those tyres do start wearing out, or maybe the softs, depending how much how many laps there are until he makes his next pit stop. But interesting strategy call, like you said. And the top 7 then remain out on the track, going from their normal strategy to hard to medium. This extends their medium life, as they could go extend the hard tyres and reduce the amount of laps they do on the medium compound tyres then for their top 7. So that's going to be interesting for them to see if it works out or not. And if the safety car comes out at the right time for them, then they can have another pit stop, put on a brand new set of mediums and see where it goes. But it's currently the 2 Alpines lead, and if you just joined us and wonder why the safety car is out, it was caused by Het Bompier, who spun coming out of turn number 14, and unfortunately Pease, the victim of it, crashed into him, and there was nothing Pease could do there. It was a quick spin for Bompier. Pease collected him, lost his front wing, debut on the track, and the safety car came out, and it kicked off a sequence of events, it must be said. And this could be interesting for Ferg, because Ferg is on a brand new set of hards along with Tegriff, Leo, Bompier, Steiner. They can go towards the end, those hard compound tyres now, and let's see how it pays dividends for them. So got a mixture of strategies going on. The top 7 haven't pitted yet. Wouter has is on a brand new set of mediums, and Ferg can go towards the end because those tyres should do. And we'll see what happens. Maybe if another safety car comes in, one knows.
Indeed. As we can have a quick check on the tyres now, who has made a stop and who hasn't. Everyone has made a pit stop apart from the top 7 here, so from about onwards everyone has made a pit stop. So Tiger effectively is in a P3 spot right there, because he's now ahead of Pease and Bompier, who were fighting for like P6, P7 after their little scuffle. So I of course second time mentioning Tiger, but he's looking in a very good position. And
wow,
he can stay with Fergus, a very late call right there from the safety car.
Indeed, that's the safety cars just dived in the pit lane. Every driver hasn't had the chance to react. Superbug caught them up very quickly, and that's why the safety car's got in. Off we go then for the safety car restart. It looks like the Red Bull and Nathan's putting pressure on the Alpine going into turn number 1. The Alpha Tauri looking to go down the inside of AJ. Leo's gone off the track. Nathan's gone through up into P2, so he splits the Alpine 1-2 there, and he moves himself up into second place there. Can Liam fight back? The tyres are cold, the brakes are cold, everyone's struggling with the low grip surfaces there, and the Ferrari and Wilder going down the inside of Duval there, and further back we've got the Mercedes and Aston Martin fighting there, and Ferg moves himself up into P7, utilising those medium compound, these hard compound tyres. He's stuck on a few laps to go, but we're going down this long straight now. Pyro leads the race, and you can see that the Alpine in P3 warming up his tyres. We make our way down into turn 6 here. The Alfa Romeo going down the inside, and Leo's dropped into P8 there. He's been overtaken by Ferg and Sieb. Sieb's up into P6, Ferg gets up into P7. He's all over the back of him going into the next corner there, and AJ then putting pressure on Liam. Liam's dropping places, and he's going to fall into P4 if he doesn't be careful. Looks like he's struggling for grip there. Steve Raw Gamer is fighting with Ferg to go side by side then, as Ferg gets a much better exit with the use of those hard compound tyres, makes his way through up into P6. He goes there right behind both Ferraris there, and let's see what both Ferraris do there, because they're on different strategies of course. But you can see Wouter with more cornering speed, more grip, as he back in the background there. There's an Alpha Tauri who's just spun. That is Steve Raw Gamer, who has just spun coming out of turn number 14 there. A few drivers going off the track going into turn number 15, and that's going to cost him a few warnings as well if they continue to do that. But as we make our way up to lap 10 then, Pyro still leads ahead of Nathan, who's got himself a penalty. I'm not quite sure where that came from. I didn't really see it pop up on the screen.
He got a 3-second penalty there for exceeding track limits. Nathan did.
Oh, Nathan, he benefited from penalties last week, but this week he picks himself up a penalty, and that might cost him towards the end of the race then if other drivers around him don't get penalties, so he's going to have to push really hard now. He's put himself into a lovely position into P2, splitting both Alpines as they had a 1-2, but it looks like Liam's got some rhythm now, and he's able to claw in back on Nathan as he was under massive pressure there from AJ, and he's got himself back in DRS range crucially, but
Actually, both Ferraris have switched now, as 8 is now the second Ferrari following Wouter. Wouter's now trying to overtake Leon here. And interestingly, Leon has had a really good restart because he was behind Peace and T-Griff, but now managed to overtake Duwil, Peace and T-Griff, and now he's in the DRS window of AJ still. So focus of Leon has done really well on that restart here for the Williams, because he was a driver who spun on lap 1, so he was all the way at the back here. But
oh yeah,
he's now in a position of P3 here. Also got yellow flags.
I can't. There's so much going on here. It's so hard to keep up with all the action. I can't really see what's going on behind. Knight. Oh, looks like both Alfa Romeos there are fighting with Knight as DRS that has been enabled. I would like to mention Liam's defending, but here we go down into turn 1. He defends on the inside as Liam, not allowing the Ferrari through. This is really helping his teammate Pyro there. Liam's defender's been lovely down at turn number 9 as Walter tried to go around the outside, but Liam cut him off completely, not allowing the Ferrari to get past him. But how long can he keep that up? Because the Ferraris on much pressure tyres puts in a huge amount of pressure on the Alpine there as he makes his way around the outside, and look at that. Oh, Walter's been pushed off the track there, and that might I think Liam there giving him space, maybe had a bit of understeer going into the corner, but he slots into P4 now, knowing that Walter's in P3. But can he use the DRS to try and get back down the inside of the Ferrari then? No, he can't. Walter is low on the DRS after he tried to make quite a few attempts on the Alpine behind him now. As we can see further behind, we saw Pease and Leo fighting. Leo's just lost a place towards Pease as he drops into P8, but further up there the battle continues for first place as Walter is right behind the Red Bull and Nathan then. Those medium compound tyres obviously working well with the fresher grip and tyre advantage he has on that Ferrari. He just needs to make as many places as he can now and try and pull away if he does get to first place. However, Griff is under massive pressure of Isak Kush there fighting with Duwal, and he moves himself up onto P10. He's also on the medium compound tyres now. He's applying the pressure onto Griff there. He's going to do a mighty job defending. He's got a lot of people behind him to try and keep behind, so let's see how he deals with that pressure right behind him there. But as we move up, we can see Walter crawling all over the back of Nathan's gearbox there, puts him under a huge amount of pressure. And let's see then as we make our way down this turn, what will happen. He'll probably try and wait for down at turn number 5. He'll have a massive tyre advantage as Joshua and Duval are scrapping for P11, continuously switching positions as they go side by side, going through turn 1, now they go through turn 2, and Joshua is just ahead for the time being. However, down into turn number 5, Walter then looking to get a really good exit with those medium compound tyres, better grip, better traction as well, for good measure. Pease has overtaken Ferg down at turn 5, and he's also on the medium compound tyres there as Pease looking to fight back on Pease. Further ahead though, Walter, can he make a move down the inside, going down into turn number 6? No, he doesn't. Not enough speed on the Ferrari to do so on that occasion, but have another opportunity on the next straight then to try and fight his way past Nathan. If he did have DRS Nathan, he'd probably been overtaken. But Isak Kush has made an error and he's dropped down into P14, back to the front then. They're ever so close there between the top 3, barely separated by 5/10 on the straight was those 3. And Pease then, has he got past the Ferrari? No, he hasn't. He's still behind it for the time being. There's so many battles going on everywhere. Walter closer and closer towards Nathan, pushing him through the corners almost is that Ferrari driver. The longer he stays behind them, the worse it gets, because he's not able to pull that gap he wants on those medium compound tyres before they start falling away. However, Leo is going side by side with Pease into turn 14 we go. Leo around the outside has just got past the Mercedes driver and he moves himself up into P7, so what a move that was. However though, this could be a move down into turn 1. Walter going down the inside into turn 1. Claim, no he doesn't, he backs out on that occasion, so Nathan must have broke later.
Obi made a mistake again in the last sector, running wide again. You can see T-Griff also pitting, so have these drivers come together, because T-Griff has already made a pit stop and he's indeed changing his wing, so have these drivers come together here on track.
I'd like to mention though, as look at the Ferrari of AJ going down the inside into turn 5 on Pease. We're going to see an overtake with with Walter. Now Nathan has put up a brilliant defence here against the Ferrari. How long can he keep that up though? This is helping Pyro a lot, saving his ERS. So look at the Hashtag of Isak P's going down the inside of AJ. Does he make the move stick? Does he get ahead of him? Not. Yes, he does. And now he's got Liam. However, Liam's dropped pace. He's behind. He's 2.3 seconds behind Walter. That must be because of the old tyres, of course. But look at Nathan then. They're going side by side with Pyro as he makes the move for the lead of the race. They're going side by side into turn 9 we go. Who makes it out on top? Here we go. The Ferrari, Walter looking very interesting right behind. Further back, we can see the P's overtaking Liam. There's a lot going on in this race. It's very hard to keep up, but I'll try my best for you all. And look at Walter then. He's so frustrated. Nathan, the minister of defense. Oh, he almost spun. Going down into turn number 14 there. The car was just sliding with no grip whatsoever. And thankfully he saved it. Didn't spin.
Goodness. What a move there from Wouter, making slight contact there with Nathan here. If everyone on Twitter saw that move, I'm certain there will be lots of tears there on Twitter, but thankfully it's just a game here. Peace has made a lot of ground now up to these drivers because of them battling here, but Nathan or Peace has had a really good safety car result here because he was down in P13 or something, and now he's up to P4, an effective P2 at the moment, so he's done really well, clearing Liam pretty much of DRS already, who's really struggling in terms of pace because his teammate is about 3 seconds ahead. And Liam just sums up his pace. It's not as strong as his teammate at the moment, and he's still in a battle with Leon and AJ right here and Ferg.
Yeah, Leo who made a mistake down at turn number 1 on lap 1. He's up into P6. A good drive from him so far. And here is Walter then. This should be an easy overtake now because Pyro does not have DRS to protect himself as they go side by side then. Going down into turn number 14. Can Pyro stick it around the outside? Is he willing to risk it because he knows Walter's on the medium compound tyres, possibly having to make another pit stop with the tyres dropping off there. Pyro knows also we'll have the medium compound tyres to good use as well towards the end of the race, and he slots into P2 then. I like to mention P's and P4 because remember he had that contact with Bob lost his front wing and he's up into P4 yet again, so the safety car has really helped some people with some good moves going on in this race as well. And also Leo who fell to the back of the grid on lap 1 after spinning in the first corner, so good job there from Leo. Looks like the driver's made a mistake in turn 14, and that's the Aston Martin, or Duel.
Indeed, Duel just making a slight mistake that I'm pretty sure that's a fourth driver today making a mistake in that famous corner right there. Latifi got saved car in 2021.
That fit.
It just sums up. It's a very tough corner to get right. That's AJ's actually spun in turn 2.
Oh
right
dear.
Or turn 3, sorry. AJ's made a mistake, and of course he doesn't have a mistake, or he doesn't make a pit stop quite yet. So he's really fallen quite far behind here. So quite unfortunate there for AJ here, but he's about 4 seconds away from Steiny, the next car ahead. So hopefully he can get a groove going again and work together with Supermer to work himself way up, but he's made this race a lot tougher just now.
And look at Nathan defending from Pease as Pease wants that inside line. Looks like it's the better way to go down the inside here. They go side by side yet again then is Nathan, and not giving this whatsoever, trying to carry more speed around the outside, but Pease has the better racing line as Nathan can try and get back down the inside into the next corner. Look at that Pease swooping around the outside. That's a lovely move. Lovely racing here going on between these guys. Lots of respect given between these drivers. They're hard racing, it must be said. And if you missed the race, you might want to watch it all again because this race has been action-packed. A lot of actions happened here in tonight's race, and a lot of moves you haven't seen just yet.
Indeed, and it was a lovely move. Both drivers just being so close to each other. I think Nathan may have made slight contact with Peace there, right there, but of course, like you said, all the drivers giving enough room to each other and respect on track, which makes for a great view here today. And of course Nathan has to stick within the DRS window. He hasn't made a pit stop yet, but I'm not sure how long this medium will last, but at some point they will start to drop off, and that is where Nathan and Pyro have to take advantage again.
And look at Leo going down the inside on the Alpine of Liam, and he moves himself up, or does he? Did he outbrake himself there?
He outbroke himself there by locking up there, which makes Liam go back ahead of the Williams driver there. So Leon has just to be slightly patient right there, because of course he has a base advantage with having fresher tires. Of course he's made a pit stop already, so he's got to be patient here and overtake Liam but also he's losing quite a lot of time now to the leaders, and the leaders are battling quite hard with each other, so he's got to make a move quick, but also...
Oh, Pyro! No! Oh, he's just spun, and that's before turn 14 as well. And looking at a really good position as well was Pyro, and unfortunately has minimised his chances of possibly claiming a podium or win.
You see drivers spitting, Peace, Nathan and Liam entering the pits, Pyro as well, so it's a double stack for Alpine right here. Double stack,
miscommunication there, but Liam takes advantage of that because he knows he's the first driver now, as he got past Pyro after making a mistake.
It's going on for a set of medium, same for Nathan here, going to the end of the Grand Prix, so that surely means that Wouter and Leon and Evans surely have to make another pit stop right here, as these tires just can't make it till the end, or they will be near puncture territory, as AJ spun again in turn 4 right here.
No, I think I think he made contact. There's 3 drivers involved. There was Sieb involved. There was Bonpier involved. Bonpier's backing out, so it must mean.
Letting AJ go through again. So massive respect to Bonpier for letting AJ go through again.
Yeah, so AJ dropped into P12. He's got the Alpine and Liam. Liam and Nathan just came out the pit lane, so they're battling hard. They're lucky to get past AJ and Bonpier without any problems, because they don't want to get hold up by them. Is looking to do the undercut and possibly Leo as well. Leo hasn't pitted just yet. Well, he has, but the tyres are 11 laps old. And look at Nathan then going through on the Alpine, and he makes his way up into P10 then. So Nathan and Liam looking to do the undercut on Wouter. If he does pit again, he must put again, Wouter. I don't think those tyres can go towards the end, but if they can, mighty strategy. But it could be the soft compound tyres being used, it must be said, if they do make a pit stop. Those guys in first and second. Look at Joshua in P3. He made a mistake on lap 1. Both Williams spun on lap 1, and they're up into P2 and P3. So mighty performance. We've got the AlphaTauri Sieb diving in the pit lane with Jet. We haven't talked about Jet much. He's been off the radar, but he's up into P8. And Steiny has overtaken Ferg now.
We've got a Mercedes spun. You were just mentioning Ferg there. Ferg has actually spun in turn 3 right here. I saw yellow flags there as Bumpy retires in the pits. Ferg unfortunately spun, which promotes Steiny now up to P4, and he's on, interestingly, he's on the hard tires, same as Leon. So if Wouter and Evans have to make another pit stop due to them being on the medium tires, Steiny is in a professional P2 right now, which would be an amazing result for the AlphaTauri team.
Yeah, I remember Steiny back at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix had a chance to be on the podium, but he lost the pace. I think he just lost the consistency of form once he made that little mistake, and it's just been on the back of his mind. But yeah, sitting at a lovely P4. We've got Resify overtaking Superbug. Superbug has got himself in a bit of a bother as well in the race, as he made a mistake down at the first few laps, and he's up into P7. We've got Liam and Nathan fighting yet again. These two are battling hard. They can't afford to battle too much because they know they might have the edge on Nathan and Joshua and Leo. Leo doesn't have to pit realistically. He can go towards the end if those tyres do make it with 10 laps to go in this race. I think those tyres will have a chance, but they'll drop off the cliff a little bit on those mediums, so on those hards. So can Liam go towards the end? It's going to be interesting. Steiny, Ferg, Resify, Supermug.
I reckon they'll certainly try, but you can clearly see the medium tyres just have a really good pace as Supermug is running wide there. As Beatson, so it's Pyro. Pyro is back in the pits again, so he must have picked up damage, and he's retired in the pit, so that's the 3rd retirement in the pit, including both McLarens. But yeah, we're just mentioning Liam and Nathan. They should honestly just be working together and try to gain as much time as they can, because they're in effect battle with Wouter if Wouter's gonna pit here, so they must gain as much time as they can right now.
They've got to pit surely first, and there's no way those tyres could go towards the end. I'd be absolutely amazed if they do, if they go towards the end. Pyro, unfortunately, another contender for the race victory here tonight, has retired in the pit lane, and it all unfolded after he spun at turn 14. And that's interesting because I think that's the lap that he wanted to pit as well, and he spun before he went to the pit, so he must have been pushing hard to try and
As indeed Wouter's on the pits. Sorry for interrupting you. Wouter's now entering the pits here. So surely instead of soft tyres, Ferg picked up another penalty here. So that's the 3rd driver on that alternative driver who's in the pits now, and he's going for a set of mediums again.
Yeah, I forgot all about that strategy as well. Medium, yeah, it's a balanced strategy, isn't it?
Yes, so the two medium sets of course coming into play right here, and also Evans pitting for another set of mediums.
Yeah, so my apologies about this. I forgot all about the patch. I haven't been doing my research around here. I haven't even raced around here quite a few times. Well, I haven't even raced, but he's got ahead of Liam and Nathan. That is crucial. His tyres are 3 laps younger than Liam and Nathan's, and that is very crucial for him, as he was able to pull away with that extra tyre advantage he has on those two behind him. So I dare say Liam and Nathan battling hard has cost them, and now they're right behind Walter.
Sure. Indeed, but this is now Leon, who was in P19 on lap 1. Now take the lead. A super mega spun. This the Alfa Romeo has unfortunately spun. He was ahead of Wout here, but is crumbling under pressure. He's
Come on.
Again.
Get back on track, mate. You don't want to cause a safety car ruin anyone's race. Just bring it home if you need to retire. Oh, no. He needs to sort it out right now. I don't want him to cause any safety car to... Oh, no! It's a safety car. And that is just completely mucked up some people's strategies. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
I'm not sure what Supermug is doing right here.
And Leo's pitted. This could be a good...
I mean, this is an easy decision for them. It's otherwise going to get ruined by them. So, I'm not sure what Supermug is doing. I mean, it will be investigated by the owners and stuff. I'll see if I picked up a 5-second penalty. Leo pitting for set of salt. Stein putting on the set of salt. Recify is now in P4 interested. Haven't really talked much about him. He's now serving his 5-second penalty and putting on a set of softs as well. Everyone pitting for a set of softs here. Liam in the pits, Nathan in the pits. Everyone in the pits. And now Leon, we were talking about it, is in P2, right behind Wouter.
Wow, Leo, after lap 1, don't think he expected to be in P2 after all this time. Steiny on a brand new set of softs, Liam on a brand new set of softs. We've had like different people up in the top 5 the whole race. Joshua in P5 on a brand new set of meds as well. So this is going to be fascinating towards the end. I feel sorry for those who pitted a few laps ago on the medium compound tyres and now... Yeah, I gotta say this second safety car was unnecessary because it wasn't due to a accident crash. It must be said. It was due to frustration from somebody else. So it's completely destroyed some people's races, and I dare say Super Mogul might get a bit of a backlash towards the end of the race, causing the safety car.
Indeed. We call it on stream, so it was opening up for a very exciting end with Wouter trying to catch them hard runners there at the end. But yeah, that unfortunately has not happened as now everyone's pretty much on the set of soft type. And we quickly check as Wouter on a set of mediums, and Leon on a set of softs, Peace on a set of mediums, Stein on a set of softs, Evans on a set of mediums, so I'm pretty sure he bid on the same level with Wouter of course. Fergus going for a set of mediums again. He's got a 6-second penalty, I'm pretty sure. Liam for a set of softs, Isaac Kuch on 4 lap on mediums, Nathan on softs, Westphal on softs, Duwil on softs, Tigris on softs, Seep on new mediums, Jet on new softs, AJ on new softs, Supermug on 1 lap on mediums, and then Knight, who's a minute behind everyone here on medium tires.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic ending to the race. Can Leo challenge Walter for the victory of this race? P is however up into P3, and he's also been involved in an accident as well with that crash down at turn 14 with Bompier. All of a sudden he finds himself up into P3. Joshua however also found himself in P5 after making a mistake on lap 1, turn 1 or turn 2. Both Williams made a mistake through there. Not quite sure if it was contact going side by side or they just lost it on their own, but however it doesn't matter now. They're up into P2 and P5, so this could be a big result for Williams if they can keep it up. Steiny on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Can he challenge Pease and Walter? Liam in P7 on a brand new set of softs. Isaac Kush in P5 with 5 lap old tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see how those soft runners can they keep the tyres, keep the life in the tyres towards the end of the race, and let's see how much they benefit from this. Then need to capitalise on these soft compound tyres early stage and try and pull away. I know these soft tyres don't really last that long either, so that's why they're going to use the most out of them before they start dropping off the cliff.
Indeed. As we expect, I think the safety car stairs for one more lap, which would bring about Oh, never mind. It's coming in right now. I spoke too soon. So we will get 7 laps of racing right here. It will be interesting since Leon is on a fresh set of softs, but those softs will die near the end, which could bring Wouter back in the race. Hence why I think Ferg has gone for some mediums. Same for Seep, to try to overtake as many people at the end of the race instead of the beginning.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Nacho. Good evening, Marconi. Good evening, Topher. Good evening, Dragon on Speed. Good evening to you all. Hope you all do well. And Topher. And yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating end towards this race. There, can Leo challenge Wouter for the lead of this race? Can Steiny challenge for a podium on P's? We're about to find out in a few laps' time as they make their way towards the final corner. Then, very important for Leo to be all over the backest Wouter. Can't afford to be caught napping and allow power to pull away. But here we go. Then Joshua has overtaken Steiny. He's moved himself into P4, so Steiny then must have got caught napping there. But with those soft compound tyres, able to warm up quicker than the mediums, should have that advantage still and try and make his way past on that medium compound tyres. Still unideal, but still going to make the use of them right now as Nathan has made his way past Isaac Kush on those soft compound tyres. Steiny goes back on Joshua then. They're going side by side.
So go ahead, Jamie.
You go ahead.
What a move there from Steiny down the inside, broke really late, did a max step move pretty much there, but Evans is a hard defender, and Fergus down the inside there of Steiny here. So the three-way battle for that P4 spot right there. And this is not a restart Steiny wants, as now Limos actually on the soft tires on the outside of Steiny here. So a three-way battle for P5 right now. Oh my goodness, what a scene right here. As Steiny and Lehman are side by side.
And which one of them makes it out top? It's Ferg actually who made it out top, is it?
Ferg in between. Well, it's actually Steiny and now Liam and then Ferg with Nathan following him behind with that 3-second penalty right there. But Steiny now needs to push to backhand to Evans here, who's battling with Peace here, both relentless drivers right there of Peace and Evans.
What a mixture of strategies, and yeah, that's what I did for Saturday. Lost a place towards Joshua. Joshua there with a really good race safety car restart, must be said. Good reaction time there from Joshua. Got himself past Steiny's turn 1. Now he's challenging for a podium with those 3-lap fresher tyres. So Joshua, can this be a double Williams podium, I wonder, with Leo challenging Wouter?
Certainly, indeed. It would be an insane scene after both drivers were, of course, lost after lap 1, and now battling for a podium spot here, and one of them even battling for a win here. But Wouter just seems very comfortable here. Leon has just not got close enough yet to have a proper attempt to overtake Wouter here, and those medium tires, those soft tires won't get any better here. So Leon, the task for Leon is to get as close as possible to Wouter and try to overtake him. But it's looking very good for Wouter for the championship right now.
Here we go, the AlphaTauri and the Alpine fighting once again down at turn 14, now going through turn 15 and turn 16. Leo has got the inside line and he moves himself up into P6 then, so Steiny then has dropped a place towards Liam, and that was a fantastic move from the Alpine driver, the only Alpine driver left in this race after his teammate retired in the pit lane due to unfortunate events for him. But can Liam then on those soft compound tries trying to fight Joshua and Pease with the remaining laps left in this race? DRS then is enabled on this lap, and let's see if Leo can use that to good effect to try to overtake Wouter for the lead of this race. Joshua, can he claim himself a podium with 3 laps fresher tyres of P's and Liam in P5? Can he try and utilise those soft compound tyres to get himself a podium? This is going to be fascinating towards the end of this race. De Griff, however, has fallen down the order and he's dropped into P16. He's spun, yes he has.
He has spun, indeed. Same as AJ, unfortunately. And he's now back down to P16 here, which is quite unfortunate for him. His race was looking quite good there, but it hasn't worked out the same as he would have liked. We also managed to see Ferg make some sort of mistake into turn 1 here, which made him lose to Nathan, who's now the team wrestling of Stein here. So this is what Nathan needs. Ferg, of course, has about 6 seconds of penalties, and Nathan has 3 seconds here. So Nathan has got to move as many positions up as possible. Oh my goodness, I think I saw Evans just had a complete moment there in turn in the long left-hander here. Went completely sideways here, but still went to keep it there. And on ball with his teammate right here, who's now very close in the battle for the lead. As Steiny has unfortunately spun. No, Steiny in that fateful spot where Latifi made that mistake in 2021. So unfortunate for him. We were rooting for him to get that podium potentially, but he's now down to P15, so he's got to do his hard work all over again as Liam is retired.
No! Oh, Liam, after a good position in the race. Oh, another safety car has been deployed. That is 3?
That's 3 safety cars indeed. And I'm not really sure what happened to Liam. His car is sideways in the wall, so I'm guessing he just lost it on the curb here. He was not in a battle with someone. He was, right?
I think he was, but I don't think he was close enough to go side by side, so must have got caught out with the lack of grip or something like that. Unfortunately, spun, probably took too much curb, who knows, or the tyres were overheated or just lost grip in general. So that's his race done.
He was the second clear of Nathan, so he must have made a mistake on his own, which caused another safety car here. So this could be good for the soft runners here, who are so another opportunity for Leon here potentially. But it just seems like Wouter's got it in the back, honestly, because Leon has not been able to get anywhere near close enough to have an overtaking opportunity, even with DRS here. So it's looking very good for Wouter here, and Nathan has that 3-second penalty here, and now with all the cars bunching up again, those 3 seconds will be massive here, as like 5 cars or like 6 cars can fit in 3 seconds here.
I want to talk about the positions gained and lost, because both Williams had a shocking qualifying. I think one of them had a qualifying which was Joshua. He started P19. Leo started P15, and they've had an excellent race. Their misfortunes in qualifying have turned into rewards in this race, and looks like Joshua was a certainty to look for a double podium, and still could be on with the last few laps of the safety car. Some people have made a last lap dive in the pit lane on the brand new set of the soft compound tyres, or maybe a used set, who knows these now. But it could be an interesting one again. Has Leo got the life of the tyres to try and fight Walter? He was super close, super close to Walter down at turn 14, about a few hundreds back, but couldn't quite make the move stick, unfortunately for him. And we'll have another chance once the safety car comes in on the next lap, hopefully, to have like 2 laps of race action left. Once the Mercedes of Knight's caught up, Knight, however, has been in last place and a minute down, like you said. But I appreciate the fact he's staying in this race to see what happens, really, because he still could get some points. Could the Mercedes drive in P15? And the safety car's in this lap, so that was 1 lap only.
Indeed. The thing is with this league is, I think it's points per position, so every position you gain is an extra point. So that's why Knight is staying out, and you never know, we can use that to your advantage. So fair play Knight here, and he should be able to get within. Nah, he's too far
back.
Still, unfortunately.
Unfortunately for Knight there, safety car has arisen once again, but unfortunately just that lap too late, or too early, shall I say, to come in. But however, then for the 3rd safety car restart, then we get going once again to see who's going to win this race. Is it going to be Walter? Is it going to be Leo? Leo started P15 after a dismal qualifying along with his teammate Joshua in P14. Has got a big chance of scoring a win here tonight with a double Williams podium, must be said, with Joshua in P4, looking to fight P's on those fresher medium compound tyres once we get raced again. And look at Joshua, like he did a second safety car restart, is alongside P's, but P's has the inside line and should theoretically stay ahead with the better racing line. Yes, he does then, and P stays ahead for the time being, but Joshua's crawling all over the back of the Haas driver there. As we make our way down into turn number 5, is he going to send one up the inside like he did on Steiny? No, he doesn't. But look at Nathan, I thought he would do. He was so close to doing it, but yeah, he had to brake, but otherwise make contact with the Williams driver. We've got Superbug and Double, the man who caused the second safety car, fighting for P8s. They go side by side, and I think Superbug claims that one with the fresh set of soft compound tyres. The AlphaTauri of Steve go down the inside. No, he doesn't back out of that one on Jet. A Jet in P10. I haven't spoken much about him. He's currently sat in P10 there, defending from Steve, who's on the medium compound tyres there as we get on the second long straight again. And the positions remain as they are. No DRS towards the end of this race as it activates 2 laps after. So it all relies then on Leo's pure pace to try and overtake Walter. But looks like Walter's got this covered, like you said earlier on. Sieve has overtaken Jet, and he moves himself up into P10. They're going side by side still. Can Jet sneak one down the inside? Sieve does go off the track. He outbrakes himself, and Sieve there's still down the inside with the Ferrari of AJ looking to take advantage. That's so close between the two. And unfortunately, Jet there gets shoved off the track, and he's down into P12. So he's just lost 2 positions in the space of about 3 corners. But however, Joshua is mighty close on the back of the House of P's there. This is the last lap of this race. Can Joshua make it a double Williams podium? I think the race victory for Leo's now is out of reach, with Walter maintaining that good pace he had on the second safety car restart ahead of Leo there. Good effort from Leo. He should be proud of his performance from starting P15 and after spinning on the first lap. But however, he's came back very strong and he's in P2. But the battle for the final podium P position is not over yet. We've still got Joshua in contention to make it a double Williams podium there. We've got Nathan in the background there looking interested as well. Can Pease defend from Joshua? No DRS then to boost the drivers, so that's going to help Leo's case because he doesn't get out-dragged from the Haas behind him unless he's close enough to do so. But so no DRS then, and it looks like Leo has got the advantage there with the ERS. No, he hasn't. You can see the back of the car flashing. Pease though too far back to make a lunge, and Supermug there has overtaken Reservoir. He's moved himself up into P7, but Pease and Leo go side by side. I thought Pease had the overtake done, but Leo's fought back, and actually the battle for second place intensifying now. Looks like Pease looks like we're going to lose a podium to Joshua, but looks like actually going to gain second place. Can Leo hold on those soft compound tyres, I wonder? And needs to make it around these final 2 corners, and let's see if he does. Yes, he does then. Joshua, has spun in the background. That's inside push. Walter comes across the line to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Leo claiming the podium. P's in P3 ahead of Evans Joshua. Supermug in P5 after causing the second safety car. Dual in P6 there. Nathan in P7 with penalties. That didn't help him. That last safety car did not help him with penalties. Reservoir P8, C P9, Stanley P10, AJ P11, Isaac Kush P12, Jetson in P13, Ferg and Knight in P15 there. So that was what a race that was to round off Abu Dhabi.
Indeed, and that's certainly a champion's drive there from Wouter. Having to defend against a new set of soft tyres from Leon there, and Leon never had a real opportunity to overtake him, but like once potentially. But that was a really good drive from Wouter. He had the strategy on point today, I reckon. We may have doubted him during the race, but he certainly knew what he was doing, and that was certainly a really impressive drive, a champion's drive, like I just said.
And I think he's a double champion now at CRL because he's outscored Nathan by over 4 points for sure. So I think Walter is a 2-time champion in CRL. And he joins Duel with being a double champion in CRL, the Great Duel. With his big battle with Ferg all those seasons ago. Congratulations, Walter, for claiming his second championship. I almost said world championship.
I mean, it's a world championship for in our eyes, so.
A mighty drive from Walter. He knows what he's doing. He's been on form all season. Controlled the race from start to finish. Yeah, we did doubt his strategy, but it worked out in the end. I forgot all about the new patch, so apologies on my end for that one. And Leo, what a drive from him. He's second place. He must be thrilled with that one. He's definitely got something to be happy about from starting in P15. And Joshua as well in P4 after starting last place, probably due to a qualifying ban. He didn't get the podium from P's, unfortunately for him, but P4 is still a good result. Congrats to P's in P3. Despite his trouble with his with Bompia, he still finished in P3. Supermug caused the second safety car, lost his front wing in P5. Dual from P30 to P6. So a lot of mixed results going on in this grid here, with a lot of drivers having their own troubles in this race. And yeah, what a race that was to remember. Abu Dhabi, maybe boring in real life, but in league racing it is quite fun. And
Indeed. We were talking about it, of course, early on in the stream that it's a very different thing, of course, on the game, and all the drivers battled really hard and gave each other enough room there, of course. And even when a driver made a mistake like Boompje, he just let AJ go through again and apologizing to him, which is all we care about in league racing, just having fun on the game and giving each other respect. And I really enjoyed this race today. I'm not sure about you. What was your driver of the day?
I think I got to give it to Leo for sure, mate. Yeah, I got to give it to Leo. It must be said.
Yeah, it's Leo. Leo had a really impressive drive, but for Wouter is of course the champion. He defended really well and just had really impressive pace, kept it together. So my driver of the day has to be Wouter.
Yeah, it's one of those two for sure. It must be said, it's super close. I won't be surprised if Leo gets the votes for the driver of the day, despite what happened in qualifying. I'm not quite sure if he actually got a lap hooked up or something like that. Maybe he just struggled with the one lap pace trying to get it together. But nevertheless, he made it count in the race, and that's all that matters, and scored the big points here in the race. So congrats towards him. That's his second podium of the season, if I recall correctly. He did get one when I wasn't here. It was at the Australian Grand Prix. So congrats on his second podium of the season. Finished in P2 in that race in Australian Grand Prix as well. So can he make it one better sometime? I wonder. But safety cars, 3 safety cars in this race, and yeah, Abu Dhabi then in league racing at least never fails to disappoint. And I've seen so many good races at Abu Dhabi in league racing. Unfortunately, it's not quite the same in the actual Grand Prix, but oh well. But I want to say thank you so much, Stefan, for commentating with me. It's been a pleasure, and the first time commentating with you, I've absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise, man. It was really enjoyable. I think you as main commentator, and then me just giving some comments afterwards was really enjoyable. And yeah, but we really had a good race to watch as well, with a different strategy as well. And I can't wait for next week. Thank you for Jamie, for commentating as well.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Next race, if I look at the F1 calendar, it is the Imola Grand Prix. Yeah, round 13 for the Imola Grand Prix then. Hungary and Bahrain. And Bahrain's a sprint race as well. So 3 races left on the calendar. We round it off at the 24th of November in a few weeks' time. Next week, join us at 8:30 yet again, UK time, for the Imola Grand Prix. We'll see you all then.